Do not move to Nigeria if you ain't got money. Nah, jokes. Like, I was trying to fit in to the point where I was putting on like, I didn't really understand pidgin English like that until I kind of got to uni.
And when me came means I got power. I can do anything I want. And when me came means I got power.
What up, gang? Welcome back to the channel. And with Mike here. Happy New Year to everybody. I hope this year brings you guys more success, more joy, more blessings. Let's go achieve our goals that we've set for 2025. Some of you might want to move to Nigeria in 2025 or maybe sometime in the future. And I thought I might make a quick video just kind of explaining some things I wish I knew before moving to Nigeria and some things that you guys might want to also consider as well. Just to give you guys a bit of a backstory, I came back to Nigeria maybe 3 months ago. Before that, I actually had came to Nigeria 2023. In October 2023 is when I actually moved back to Nigeria, but I stayed for about 6-7 months before going back to Australia. And then I moved back again in October 2024. So you could roughly say I've been here for almost a year. Number one, cost of living. This covers housing, transportation, groceries, and any other hidden costs from my perspective. Some of you may or may not know that I go to university here, so I study in Nigeria as well. And the way it kind of works is some universities require you to stay on campus, some can stay off campus as well. For me, I stay on campus. So during the schooling session, I'm in school, I live in school, I wake up, I go to my classes and things like that. But obviously when I don't have class, I'm able to go home. I come straight back to Lagos because why not? So some costs that I'm affected by would be obviously feeding. So spending money on food, so breakfast, lunch, and dinner in my school. So some money that we use to pay our school fees is allocated to us on our feeding app. You can use this feeding app to buy obviously food in school and stuff like that. Unfortunately for me, my feeding app doesn't work. So for the last probably 3 months, I've literally been using my own money to buy breakfast, lunch, or dinner, which kind of sucks because it's not like, obviously you can say it's cheaper, but at the same time, when the money accumulates, it's not as cheap. You end up spending quite a lot, you know what I mean? Another cost that I'm faced with is paying for petrol. So I have 2 cars, so that's double the petrol that I have to pay. I try not to drive both cars as often, but I don't like to stay one place. So I'm always driving around for no reason. But obviously, like I got like events and things that I go to. But yeah, I think cost of living would be spending money on food and petrol. Any other hidden costs might be just little things like buying clothes or going out to eat, going to the movies or going to the beach, just things like that. Those are kind of some areas that might bring you down in terms of finances. I don't live alone yet or have like my own space to really talk about like other costs that you might face. But what I have picked up on is rent here in Nigeria is annually. So you pay for a whole year, and that can range from anywhere from, depending on your area, I'm going to say this in Naira. You can do the conversions yourselves. 2 million Naira a year, but I think you can even get rent as cheap as I think 300,000, and then obviously all the way up to as much as you want to spend, whatever fits your budget. I feel like paying rent yearly is kind of cooler, more cost effective than paying it weekly. I don't know if you guys know, but in Australia you pay rent weekly. So if your rent is $1,000 a week, you're paying $1,000 a week, which is about 1 million Naira plus a week, which is crazy. Number 2 is cultural adjustments. So things that I had to adapt to when I came to Nigeria. Obviously cultural shocks, language barriers. So obviously coming here, English is what I predominantly speak. I am an Igbo guy. I do speak a little bit of Igbo and understand a little bit, but it's not the main language that I speak. So I feel like one thing I had to adapt to was the way people speak here. So obviously people speak English, people speak Pidgin, people speak Yoruba. Yoruba is, I think, the main language that people speak here. Don't quote me, but that's what I've experienced. So when I came here, I could not speak one single bit of Yoruba. I still can't speak Yoruba, but I'm just saying like I couldn't even understand like how to communicate with some people because I wasn't understanding them. But I feel like when I went to uni, I had a different experience because Ibadan is Yoruba land as well. So a lot more people speak Yoruba there as well. So I had a different experience trying to get used to how people speak and understand how things are done there. So that was kind of a major shock for me. I think also speaking Pidgin as well, which is like broken English, that was a major shock as well, because I didn't really speak like that before. But staying here for a little bit, staying here for like 3-4 months, I felt like, okay, I had to fit in, or I had to learn how to speak Pidgin, because I didn't want people to know that I came from Australia or could hear my accent, because they'll charge me more, you know what I mean? Something like that. So I had to like, I forced myself to like learn how to speak Pidgin and put it on. And honestly, it sounds terrible on me. I've had some people tell me that I sound terrible when I speak Pidgin. So that's something that I had to adapt to and adjust to as well. Another thing that I feel like I had to adjust to is greeting people.
Hey, did you end up getting a new job? Yeah, I did.
But yeah, greeting people like when you see them is very important. It's not a big deal over here. You say somebody, say hi, how you doing? Good afternoon, good morning, whatever it may be. Just being polite. I think that's something that I've experienced here. It's not everywhere that you greet people, obviously, because you have to be guided and know where and when to kind of like be friendly, because you don't want to be friendly in the wrong areas and they take advantage of you, that kind of thing. But yeah, just greeting people and being nice to people was kind of something that I was like, okay. Compared to Sydney, when you're walking around, nobody gives a damn about you. Everybody's doing their own thing. Everybody's in their own world. Another thing I had to adjust to was the way society runs here. So people judge you based on the way you look, what you drive, the way you dress, the way you conduct yourself. I don't know if any of you guys have heard about forming or like pretending. There's a lot of people that pretend to have an accent or drive cars or live a certain life because of the way society is here. If you don't have a car, if you don't have a certain amount in your bank account, apparently, it makes you less of a human being. That's something I had to adjust to. Obviously, that doesn't relate to me, but just the fact that that's a thing. I know in Australia, like even if you're not working, people can go to Centrelink, or there's always something that's something that's helping people, you know what I'm saying, survive. But here, if you don't have money, or if you're not working, or if you're not making money, then you're considered less than, and there's no system or anything to kind of help you unless you beg. I guess that's why there's a lot of people on the road that beg. Number 3 is weather and environment. So what to expect in terms of heat, rainy seasons, adapting to the climate. Let me just say to you right now, as I'm outside doing this video, I'm sweating so much. It's so hot. Oh, don't ask me why I'm wearing a jumper. Why I'm wearing this, man, I don't even know. But anyway, the weather is very hot here. I feel like the analogy I can use for the weather is our hottest day or our hottest weather, maybe like 32 degrees or 34 degrees or something like that from Sydney, is like a normal weather here, honestly. Like, let me actually check the weather right now. It's literally 32 degrees right now. And I'm sure it's probably got up, or it's probably going up already. But another thing I've experienced as well, raining seasons here. So during the raining seasons, like I don't know how Lagos was built or planned. When it rains here a lot, it floods. There's some areas that flood a lot. Not in my estate, but I've seen places on like Snapchat whilst I've been here, people were complaining about certain places here flooding. So just know that when you're moving here, it's gonna be hot during the seasons where it's hot. And when it rains, it's gonna rain a lot. And it's literally gonna be, yeah, heavy, I swear. Another thing is where my uni is, I swear my uni is like right next to the sun because it's so hot. It's so hot in my uni, like literally, like, just to walk, like, okay, when I finish showering in my uni, by the time I've dressed up, put on my lotion and everything, I've sweat off all my lotion. Like, imagine that. Number 4, safety and security. So obviously some neighborhoods to consider, some tips for staying safe and local practices. I feel like from my perspective, living in a gated community where you have good security, where you feel safe, is very important. That's kind of all I really know. I haven't experienced, obviously I've been to other places, and most of the people I'm friends with here all live in gated community. So it's definitely safe. Obviously you just have to be smart with who you keep around you, who you let know where you live, and just, yeah, things of that nature. But it's predominantly safe. Obviously you're not gonna go around telling people where you live or anything like that. But yeah, it's safe. Knowing how to move in this country is very important as well, just like any other country. Me personally, I haven't seen it as an unsafe place. You just have to be smart with how you move. It's not like a different country like Australia where you can leave your car unlocked for a day and you know that nothing will happen to it. In some areas, there's still some areas in Australia too where it's unsafe. You just have to be smart about it. Number 5, healthcare and insurance. Availability of quality hospitals and recommended health precautions. Personally, I've had pretty good experiences in terms of healthcare here, going to like a good hospital. So for those that are moving to Nigeria and you haven't lived here before, or you were here when you were younger and you haven't lived here since you were young, I would say just be careful what you eat. So for me, when I first came here, when I went to uni, I was trying to fit in. I was drinking pure water. I was eating local foods, and almost every day I was sick. Like, I was having stomach pains. I was under the weather. I was feeling weak, until I realized that no, I can't eat certain things. I have to, be careful of what I'm eating, what I'm doing as well. That's when I started to see an increase in my health. I even went as far as hopping on a bike to try and go somewhere, and I fell off the bike and it caused me some serious injury. Now, when it came to now going to the hospital or the clinic, it was a long process, especially in my school. It wasn't a private hospital or anything like that. So after kind of dealing with that issue of falling from a bike and being injured and things like that, I realized that I had to go back to Lagos to go to a private hospital, which I did. And let me just say, within a few days, I was better compared to a week that I spent in school trying to heal, going to the clinic every day, them cleaning my wound, but not feeling like it's healing. Just the frustration of that was so crazy. Like, I was so pissed off. But the moment I came back to Lagos, I went to a better hospital and was taken care of much better than I was in the public clinic. So those are some things to consider. There is good healthcare and hospitals and things like that, and you have to know what you can and can't do for yourself. Like, I know I can't drink pure water. I know I can't do certain things that locals can do, but I also know that if anything was to happen, I have access to private hospitals and quality hospitals and stuff like that, and quality care. So in terms of transportation, this covers public transport, options, driving, and traffic. Let me just be honest with you. In Lagos, there's a lot of traffic. Like, you can spend 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 hours in traffic in Lagos. Nobody cares. Obviously, people care, but like, it'll just be crazy. Like, you want to go somewhere that on the map is usually 20 minutes away or 15 minutes away. It will take you an hour, 2 hours because of traffic. So that's something to consider. And most of the time, it's just because of the bad road, or a truck breaks down or something like that. It's just crazy. I would also say that learning how to drive in this country is crazy, but it's actually fun if you know how to drive, or you can just hire a driver. I think that's something to consider as well. Being able to kind of know how to move around is very important. There is public transport, so there is like shuttle buses kind of things. There's Uber, they call it Boat here, but there is Uber as well. And yeah, just things of that nature. And there's also bikes as well that you can get on to go from A to B. So there is different means of transportation here. It's not just limited to bikes or buses or anything like that. There is Ubers, and yeah, you can hire private drivers as well and things like that, which is cool. Number 7 talks about work and business environments. Me personally, I don't work for anybody here. I'm a student, so I'm just going to uni. But we do have a family business that we run in Lekki. We have a salon, we have a winery, and we have a clothing brand, and we have a paint and sip spot as well. So where people come and do paint and sip. But what I can say about the work and business environment here is everybody is hustling. There's so many businesses in Lagos, and it seems like everybody's hustling each and every day. You stop because you're in traffic, somebody will come and try and sell you something. Like, it's so inspiring to be around such hardworking people, I've also heard of some companies that pay really well. Obviously, I think it depends on the sector you're in. If you're in oil, actually, I can't really talk about it because I'm not really too informed, but I just know that in terms of work and business environment, there's a lot of business opportunity here, and there is a lot of people hustling every day for obviously a better life. So it's very inspiring to see. Number 8, social life and entertainment. Let me just say, Lagos nightlife is the best nightlife in the world. Compared to Australia, where clubs close at like 3 a.m. and you're not even allowed to enter a new club by like 1 a.m., Lagos nightlife is insane. There's quite a few things you can do in Lagos. You can go clubbing, you can go to the lounge, you can go to museums, you can go to the beach. There's so many beaches you can go to, so many lounges you can go to, and it's so convenient because it doesn't matter what day or time it is for some of the activities. But yeah, you can do so much in Lagos and it's fun. Like I remember going to the club and getting back home by like 7 a.m. or just being able to do so many different things. It's so fun. You know, that's something that I really do like about Nigeria. You can have fun, as much fun as you want to have. Number 9, documentation and legalities. So this covers like visas, visa types, residency permits, and local regulations. So I'm not gonna lie, I don't know too much about it because I have dual citizenship. So I had no issues coming here or having to get a visa or anything like that. But yeah, I think anybody that's not Nigerian, obviously I think you would have to go through the visa process. I'm pretty sure you can get one either before or when you get to Nigeria. I would recommend getting any type of visa prior to coming to Nigeria, because when you get here, they're gonna extort you. I'm not gonna lie, the country's hard, so they might make the process for you getting your visa or whatever a bit more costly and a bit more harder for you. But yeah. Number 10, last but not least, unexpected perks and challenges. So personal anecdotes and positive experiences that I've had. So I think that a positive experience I've had for myself, I think that I've actually experienced both the good and bad side of Nigeria. Me personally, when I came here, I've put myself in different positions. I've been in the trenches, like I've been in the local areas, so I can learn and understand how the country really works and how it is from different perspectives. I've been on the nicer end, I live in a nice estate. I've just experienced a whole bunch of things. But I think one of the things I'm really proud of myself for is learning how to drive here. It hasn't been easy at all. Like, I know how to drive in Nigeria, Lagos especially. You can drive anywhere in the world, literally. And I think a flex is like when my mates from Australia come over, like when they come to Nigeria and I'm like, I can pull up on them or anything like that. Just being able to be mobile in this country is very, very cool and something I like. I think another unexpected challenges is I low-key got scammed by somebody I know, somebody I considered a friend. But yeah, I'm gonna do a story time. If you want a story time on how I got scammed and taken advantage of by somebody I considered a friend, comment down below. I'll do a full story time breaking it down. That was 10 things I wish I knew before coming to Nigeria. I also shared a bit of my personal experiences as well. If you haven't already, hit the like button. If you haven't as well, please hit the subscribe button. Road to 1,000 subscribers by the end of 2025. Show me a little bit of encouragement. I would appreciate it a lot. Don't forget to write in the comments as well what other content you'd like to see. Did I forget anything? Do you have any questions? Maybe I can answer it in the next video. And yeah, stay tuned for part 2.
LMK means I got power.